make sure that my audio works properly because I've not tested this audio setup with it yet.
Cool. Can you mute whatever you're outputting to me in chat so that I can just listen to your stream?
Sure. This should be muted.
Okay, I am louder than you in your own stream.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Try now.
A surprising amount of latency here.
Try now. I'll do some more talking so you can listen to this after I've made the adjustment, I suppose.
Yeah, that's fine.
ですが、ボルテックスはまだ完全ではありませんし、どうなるかわかりません。またまた失敗だ。逃がすな。
Only cutscene in the game, you say?
It is indeed the only cutscene in the game, other than like the credit sequence. So how's the audio?
Did you change it in the correct place this time?
I think so.
Are
I
you
could
sure?
be wrong.
You may want to
know.
double check that. Well, welcome to being a streamer.
Yeah, I know, right? I have cranked me up on what is, I'm sure, the right thing. But I don't know with certainty. Let's try this again. I'll mute your chat input for a sec.
Cool. Okay, that does seem like a bit of a better balance there between you and me. We do seem to be about the same volume now.
Okay, how is it compared to game audio?
Yeah. I think that's probably pretty good.
Cool. Okay, in that case, we might start actually playing this game.
Okay, Dan MCD. Both voices sound about right. Thank you,
excellent.
Dan MCD.
Hi, Dan.
Game audio might drown it out if there's a lot going on.
Sure.
Fair?
Alright, I might pull down the game audio a smidgen, I guess. Cool. Hi, how are you, Dan?
I'm going to now mute your stream because otherwise I'll hear you
Very sensible.
and I'll hear you.
Alright, so this is Crash Bandicoot 1 but in Japanese. Because,
For reasons.
For reasons, basically. I've wanted to play this game in Japanese for quite some time. Mostly because I had a copy and I haven't played it yet. I've purchased and played this game too many other times to not play it in Japanese as well, so I figured, you know, let's complete the collection, I guess.
Yes, so what we're doing is we're just going to... you just beat in the game, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna 100% it. I certainly won't in one sitting, but I don't know. I might grab a couple of gems along the way, see what's different. I know that they've changed the location of a couple of the coloured gems,
right.
so I might, I guess, faff about with that and just see what happens.
I'm going to thank you in advance for respecting my time and remembering that I have a family to feed at some point.
Fair.
And yes, Dan, having a week of doing nothing is amazing. It has been a good week.
I've not had a week of doing nothing. I've still had work.
Yes, I know, but, you know, just because you're the streamer guy, does that make you the most important person here?
Not really. I mean, yes.
Yes. You could always just give up and mute me, you know?
I could.
Not going for all crates on the first try.
I am. I think I missed one though. So I'm just heading back here to check. You can do it all with the... Yeah, see, I missed one. You can do it all with just that one round of invincibility, but that's, you know, if you're practiced and know what you're doing.
Dan asks
Good
if
question, Dan. The cover art is bizarrely different, as is like every other Japanese Crash Bandicoot game. There's a couple of global timers and cycles and things that are changed. If you complete a level but miss boxes, you're still not eligible for a gem. Oh yeah, that's right, you can save after you get a gem. It only drops one box on your head if you miss them, rather than like 50 or however many you've missed.
Right.
So for a while, this was actually used for like the 80% speedrun because it saved you having to death abuse. But then they found, oh well, it's faster anyway, and we've got these other tricks. So I think they're back to the US version at this point. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I've looked at this game properly.
Oh.
They changed...
Oh, that's right. I'm not looking at... Sorry, I just confused myself.
Okay.
Because the game audio that I hear is not in sync with the game
Oh,
that I
right,
see.
yes.
I was about to be like, what the hell, James? Everything is broken. No, I'm just broken. So ignore me, because I'm not useful at all.
Yeah. They changed the order of a couple of levels, if I recall correctly. They changed where a couple of the color gems are. I think that's everything. I don't actually remember with certainty.
So even in the Japanese version, Stormy Ascent was still considered too difficult to include.
Yeah, the Japanese version I think was actually released after the US one, and they made some changes based on stuff that they wanted to do. So they, for example, brought the green gem forward to the first island to show off early in the game that there's these color gems that unlock stuff. Which is another thing that I think made it good for the speedrun, because that green gem lets you skip an entire level, which is long and boring and bleh.
Yeah.
And apparently they've changed the bonus round music. Go figure. Yeah, and it's on a level that I'd say is arguably easier to get all the boxes on without dying, but I don't know. Like, they're both very doable with some practice, I guess. So it's probably academic in an actual speedrun. I don't know.
Do you have any plans to do some speedrun?
At some point. Probably not of Crash 1. I'm sort of done with that. I know I've never actually formally recorded a run, but there's limits to what I want to actually do with it, you know?
Because there's not a lot of, like, out-of-bounds tech in this game, is there? Right?
No,
Like,
there's
it's
not.
mostly just play the game really well.
Yeah, to highlight one of these things, I've missed 3 boxes in this. I know that because I know where they are and you need the green gem to get them. But it only drops 1 on your head in the NTSC-J version.
Cool.
And of course, all of the Crash noises are different. He doesn't actually speak any English, but he's got a Japanese voice actor anyway, you know?
Yeah. So you're running this on an actual PS1, you're not running this on a PS2?
Yeah, no, this is on an actual PS1. I'm playing it the honest way. None of this fast disc loading nonsense.
What? Crazy. Gotta localize those woes. Damn straight, Dan.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna ask you, like, why would this run be any faster than in Japanese? There's no cutscenes or dialogue.
Correct. It has got nothing to do with cutscenes or dialogue. It is, like, there's a couple of...
It's basically just build version numbers, right?
Basically,
like, this is the last version that came out.
Yeah, and there's just weird stuff that this run has that some of the others don't, I guess.
Yeah. Always loved those bongos. Get your sour plus in chat. I probably spelled that wrong.
You did.
I did.
There's
What
a capital
numpty.
P in selfless.
Oh, is it the capital P? Cool. Learn to fight better. Okay, I give up.
Nice. That's real well done, Ben. Fun fact for you, in the English version, I've just realised I haven't actually demonstrated it yet. In the English version, when you actually approach Torna in there, she gets kidnapped again by Cortex. In the Japanese version, she just sort of disappears. I should probably show that off the next time I have a bonus round. There you go, you finally got it.
But in mod view, it's just the word.
Yes, because you don't have the better TTV thing in mod view.
Okay, interesting. That is, but I wanna see my memes in mod view. I'm deeply disappointed, and my day has been ruined.
Oh, well, good. That's what I live for. Ruining days.
Good.
There's nothing else I live for.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what is this level for?
This level is boulders.
Boulder. Ah, I remember this level.
So in
I always hated the camera in this.
the Ars Technica interview that Andy Gavin did not too long ago, all things considered, spoke about how this is a 3D game that never actually has more than 2 dimensions available to the player.
Yeah.
This one, they sort of said, like, well, you can move left and right and forwards and backwards, but we've removed the dimension of time, right? So I guess it's actually more four-dimensional. There's ones where it's 3D, but it's a 2D one, like last level. You can jump forward off the screen and die, but they just sort of assume that you're not quite that stupid. But they've got a whole bunch of things where it's sort of top-down or left to right or time-removed things like this, where they just restrict your ability to move in a dimension, mostly because if they don't, they found that it's, well, you can just sort of avoid everything, and it's hard to make meaningful and interesting gameplay.
You gotta respect old school game design where they just assume that you're not stupid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Nintendo difficult is still a term that gets bandied about.
Yeah, I know.
And like back in the day when this was first released, no one thought of this game as being like impossibly difficult or anything. But if you look at people like, oh, Crash Bandicoot is the Dark Souls of platformers, I'm just, no, my dude, you're just used to easier platformers where they assume that you're a dunce.
Yeah. Also, Streamer Plus, you've been streaming for 9 minutes and 48 seconds. Should have drunk at least 32 litres of water by now.
I'm sorry, chat, I'm letting you down.
F's in chat.
Yeah.
Not drinking enough water is bad for your health.
It's true.
The bot just told you should have drunk 32 litres.
Yeah, don't forget to check your posture, you know.
Oh yeah, don't forget to check your posture. Take regular breaks. Aren't you meant to take a break like every 20 minutes or so?
I don't know, something like that.
Coming up to that.
Yeah, fair, Dan.
That is fair. Yeah.
That was unfortunate.
This game had some bangers as tracks.
It did. The guy who actually produced the soundtrack for it, released the pre-console version like a year back, I want to say. Because of course when it goes to the PS1 it has to get like, you know, down-sampled and compressed and all that to sort of make it fit.
I mean, they're already running on a CD.
Yeah. And like the sort of pre-console versions are absolute bangers. More so than the actual in-console versions.
Interesting looking at the whenever you get the last thing for the bonus level.
Yep.
It like freezes for half a second, and I go, oh no.
Yeah, okay. I'll show it to you this time. So in Torna ordinarily, where when you move forward like a little bit, Cortex kidnaps her, but they're like, oh no, our Japanese audience can't deal with that. Let's just warp her out of existence. It is just the most bizarre thing. Like, there's been a whole bunch of really weird censoring in the Japanese versions of Crash for some reason. Like, there's localization of his model in a couple of games, but they also just censor some of the weird things that happen.
That is so weird, because most of the time the West has to censor Japanese.
I know, right?
Right? Like, it's normally the other way.
Yeah, it's just odd, you know?
Yes. Wait, is her name Tawana?
Torna.
Alright.
T-A-W-N-A.
Yeah, Dan spelled it in chat. I just can't pronounce it yet.
Right.
Enunciate for nuts.
Good question, Dan. He doesn't have fingers in this game. They are, in fact, oven mitts. Oh,
I feel like that's like what happens to Ratchet's tail.
Yeah, that's another difference of this game as well. In the US version, and the Australia version for that matter, he only has 3 health in this fight.
Right, Papu. Right, he's got 5 in now. Right.
Yeah. He used to be able to just bounce off him all the time. Maybe I'm just... Whoa, that's
bad
faster.
at video games?
Probably.
Maybe you should just stop and Dan should take over.
I don't know, man.
Dan is too good at video games. He needs to be nerfed.
This is very different to the version I'm used to. He doesn't move faster in the Australian or US versions unless I've missed something. He just keeps the one steady speed for like 3 little health things.
Is the Japanese version PAL?
No,
or
the Japanese
NTSC?
version is NTSC-J. US version is NTSC-J. Europe, Australia, and Africa, I think, are PAL.
Right. So this is running at 60 FPS.
I think it's actually running.
Or does it depend on the console?
I think it's running at 30 because, my hardware.
What?
I mean, theoretically it runs at 60, but because it's interlaced and I have a magic box that is de-interlacing, it effectively halves the frame rate, which makes the game marginally more juddery, I guess, but removes a lot of the really weird artifacts that that was not what I expected to have happen, but that's okay.
Because I've been playing around with my PlayStation 2, and it's this mess of green and red dots everywhere.
Yeah, the composite video on the PS2 does not look good, I've got to say.
Yeah. Your bot tells you to drink water a lot more frequently than mine. Apparently, you've been streaming now for 15 minutes and 51 seconds.
I may have gotten the number wrong. Theoretically, it was only every 20 or 30 minutes or something, but apparently I entered the number in wrong.
Right, okay.
Oh, rats. Okay,
because my channel is every half an hour.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember what number I picked for both of those. I just threw in a number.
Dan is asking if there is more tutorial text in the Japanese version.
Yes, there is. You get tutorial text when you hit an Aku crate for the first time or something? I don't know. I don't pay attention. In the Australian version, you don't get any at all. And in the first level, there is actually an extra Aku crate right at the beginning.
Right.
For, again, reasons I don't quite know. I did not do that well. That's okay.
Please remember that I see your gameplay, probably
hello?
5 or 10 seconds after it happens.
By Torna. Yeah, drink that water quickly. I mean, at least it was only 4 liters this time that I have to drink since the last one.
Yeah, true. Now, if the bot says you need to drink less water, does that mean you need to go to the bathroom, right? Do you have to subtract
I think I need to just, syringe it out.
Oh, okay. Stomach pump.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
At least it was only 4 liters in 5 minutes. Yeah, true. That's still not a great water to time ratio, I will admit.
Yeah.
Now, I am totally going to die here and lose both my musks, because I am rubbish at this burrito round. I've beaten it, twice in the original version.
Oh, good luck. What's great is I'll get to experience you fail, and then I'll get to experience you fail again.
Well, there we go. I didn't fail.
What? I feel ripped off.
I'm sorry, Ben. I was too good. I can't help it. Genuinely, though, I have missed that first jump or the second jump so many times on that round.
James is OP Plusner.
I mean, at this one series of video games, maybe.
Yeah.
I am yet to die, I'd point out. I mean, having said that, I'm now immediately about to die on, the first dumb, easy jump on the next level, but, you know. Another change for you. This level and the previous level are swapped around on the PAL version. Again, don't know why. And this is the one that has the green gem early for some reason. So I might give it a couple of goes. I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Because you gotta have an auto.
So, because we're gonna have what?
Well, this level's an auto scroller.
Basically, yeah. That runs 20% faster than the English version that I'm used to.
Yeah.
So, my timing may well be off. I don't know if this is a level where there's cycles that are affected. So I'm still running on Australian muscle memory, and I don't know if that's right. Rats. Oh well, no green gem.
Right.
I guess I'm finishing Castle Machine.
You said rats, and I'm like, you died.
No, don't be ridiculous.
You missed the box. Okay. I always suck at these levels.
should I go back and see if I can get the green gem?
Nah.
Alright, fair enough. We're moving on.
Let's just keep this ball rolling.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Oh, I'll just pass up those free 32 lives that you get right at the end.
Yeah.
Because, like, the last level, if you have the green gem, it just lets you skip right to the end and you get 30-something lives. And, like, this weird bonus pack.
So, how do these gems work? I am a complete
Good question. So, in Crash 1, to get a gem, you have to get all the boxes in a level and not die. I don't know why it keeps showing me that tutorial text.
Yeah, Dan pointed out that you've got it a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's a bit odd. Yeah, so to get a gem, you have to get all the boxes and not die. They changed that in the Insane Trilogy release, where you just have to get all the boxes and not die for clear gems. Sorry, just get all the boxes, doesn't matter if you die for clear gems. And the only time you have to not die is for the color ones. Whereas in this game, you just have to not die at all. And for some of those levels, it sucks. I remember that, like, the lab and Stormy Ascent were terrible.
Oh god, Stormy Ascent.
Sorry, not Stormy Ascent, Slippery Climb. I mean, Stormy Ascent wasn't in this game, because, again, even the devs thought it was too hard.
I mean, are they wrong?
I mean, I can comfortably do it. And there are people out there who are plenty better at this game than I am.
Yeah, but there are also people out there who are plenty worse at this game.
That's true, I suppose.
Like, because it was the second to last level, right?
I think it was slightly earlier than the second to last level.
Okay.
I think it came before the lab. And, like, was before Castle Machine. I could be wrong. I don't remember what the cycle is.
Because your game has to be difficult enough to, you know, be fun. But players deserve to, you know, still finish the game.
True.
These first few levels are, like, the only levels I've ever played.
Right, okay.
Because I get hard-walled on, like, the bridges.
Yeah, okay. I mean, this is, like, the end of the first island.
Yeah.
And it marks, like, somewhere between a third and a quarter of the way through the game.
Yeah. I feel like most people can do the first island, and that's where it sort of drops.
I mean,
off.
there's a couple of people that get walled on Rolling Stones and Native Fortress. Like, this... I mean, in fairness, this is not a pushover platformer. It is not some sort of easy thing. It's not a modern Mario game, you know?
Well, it's pure platformer, right? Like,
yeah.
I think about some of its near contemporaries. Something like, you know, a Spyro that is nominally a platformer, but is also doing 20,000
I'd say that
different...
Spyro is really more of a sort of third-person action-adventure game than platformer, really. Because there's very little platforming in Spyro.
I mean, my mind went to Ratchet and Clank, but I realized that it's significant, that this game is significantly older.
Yeah, by like a good 6-7 years.
Yeah. And that's maybe not a fair comparison.
No, it's not. Okay, so we're just going to skip a bunch of this level because it's funny and fast.
Yeah, Spyro does also lean more collectathon.
I don't know if you've seen this before, Ben, but you can just kind of walk behind the level here.
I have not seen that before.
Yeah, there you go. There are no boxes in front of this bit at all, so you don't even... hello?
There's also a bunch of Wampa fruit back there.
Yes. Okay, well, I poorly judged that, I guess.
Yeah, you did.
Oh well.
Rickaroni, pepperoni.
You
didn't die, so it's okay.
I mean, this is true. First island without a death is pretty good, I think.
Yeah. What's interesting is that this is a 3D platform, but because so much is locked to the...
First actual death. There you go.
On a plant. No.
Man, imagine dying in a Crash Bandicoot game.
To a plant. Eat your veggies. What was I saying? It's interesting that this is a 3D platformer, but all the platforming is in 2 dimensions.
Well, so sometimes it's in 3 dimensions, but they specifically sort of take a dimension away from you. Fun fact for you, see that little flat pillar over there? You can actually land on that for if you're not good at consistently making the cycle. Like near where the house is, right? There's a flat one, like when I sort of jump behind the level. You can actually rest there in between cycles if you like can't reliably make that in one go.
Right.
Which is like a major stalling point for a lot of people in this level. Careful, you don't have many lives left. Yeah, Dan, I'm gonna be pushing it to make it through this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm bothering to get these. I can't get the gem anyway, because A, I've died, and B, I can't get all the boxes because I don't have a red gem. Neat little trick for you. If you die, he actually does a sort of like wiping sweat off his brow as opposed to like an excited jump.
Right.
When you actually hit the end of the level.
I guess
that's an all
like,
version. It's not just
you
Japanese.
made it, you know.
Basically, like I struggled through. Like I died once, you know.
Yeah.
But nah, man, we're struggling. I keep getting that tutorial. It is very weird. Like, I assume it's intentional, but I don't know why. Aku's mad that you keep skipping it. I mean, I don't.
Skipping what?
I am actually collecting most of it. Well, that was impressive. Shoutouts to the momentum in this game.
Yeah.
I can just call it a speedrun strat because that is actually genuinely a strat that they use to avoid the box, like, cutscene at the end.
Yeah.
It was absolutely not intentional, but, you know, I'll pretend it was, because I'm slick like that, you know.
I mean, everyone knows that you're secretly getting to the end of these levels and wiping sweat off your brows.
Oh, it's true. Okay, sure.
Okay.
I mean, that's
just jumped straight into the plant.
I did. I very poorly misjudged it. I'm not going to try and blame the game. That was me being way too ambitious.
How dare you be bad at video games on the internet?
I know, right?
You should delete your channel.
I mean, yeah, but that's completely unrelated to the fact that I'm bad at video games.
Right. I paused the stream. Oh no, what have I done? Ruining everything. I just remembered that I should, like, host you. You know? Be a fan, host it.
I cannot be getting all of those boxes. I'm gonna be real, if I need the extra lumber for lives to play this game, then I should just sort of give up forever.
Right, yeah. I do like that you bothered to... The one you specified that was your first real stream. Congrats, by the way, on becoming a streamer.
Yeah, yeah.
And two, that you specified that we're running Japanese.
Well, I mean, I think it's actually an important thing to sort of announce, because there are some substantial differences between this and the US version. Yeah, I mean, for starters, it's in Japanese. What are you doing? What do you mean, Dan, what am I doing? No, you can't just... Oh, right, okay, I see. I mean, I actually can. They don't actually contribute to the gem at this. They do in the Insane Trilogy, but not in the original ones.
I mean, you still had a crate land on your head anyway.
Yeah, you need... I think it's the orange gem for this one.
Right.
One of the lake levels is orange, one of the lake levels is yellow. Anyway, he's our second boss, I was about to say first. First real boss, Ripper Road, and it's dumb. And I don't remember any of the timing to reliably hit him, so this is going to be really exciting.
Right. I'm sure you can manage it. This is, after all, James, a game for children.
This is true. Yeah, there we go. I can, in fact, still remember how to do it quickly.
GG.
Yeah. Yeah. I struggled with that so much as a kid, just because it's obnoxious. It's not so much that I die, it just takes forever if you don't know where he's going and can't time the TNTs.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a randomness element that made it worse for me as well. But I don't know.
I mean, if you're talking about doing it as a child.
Yeah, so this set of boxes here, in the Australia version, you can jump this way, but you can't jump back over it the other way around. So you actually have to jump around like that. And this is the level where you'd normally get the green gem. And of course, you have to like break that box if you want to get the gem in this level. So you've got to sort of do some 3D jumping.
Yeah, Dan raises an interesting point, that it is interesting that they localize the TNT crate packages.
I hadn't actually sort of noticed that.
But not the big TNT ones.
Yeah, odd. In the new game, Crash 4, they're actually replacing the TNT with just like a T or a bomb or something, and the Nitro ones with ends. Well,
I assume that TNT is like... Is TNT copyrighted? Is TNT like a branded explosive?
No. TNT just stands for trinitrotoluene. It's just the chemical.
Right, because I can never remember, because Dynamite, I think, is
Dynamite is the brand name. It's like Zippo or Sharpie, right?
Yeah.
Everyone calls it Dynamite, even though it is technically TNT. It's actually a bunch of other things as well.
Yeah. Proprietary explosives.
Yeah. You've got to make sure that you have the right adapter so that it fits your detonator. I swear these bats run on a different cycle to the PAL version. They're faster. Maybe that's just me and I'm going mad, but they feel faster.
I mean, if the game is rendering at 60 FPS, even though you're only viewing it at 30,
that's
the game's
true.
Logic is probably running.
I mean, that is like 50%.
Faster.
Whoa. That is running like 20% faster than what I'm used to playing, basically.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd expect that there would be some differences there, but I know that there's also differences in timing between the Japan and the US version too, and they both run at... Oh, man. They both run at 60.
Because I wonder sometimes if these old console games, because you didn't have to program for it, have things where, like, if you were to run them at a higher frame rate, they would be horrendously broken.
I mean, probably. I think it's like Unreal Tournament 3 or something where people worked out that you get like weird physics stuff right up until 129 FPS or something ludicrous like that. I've probably got the wrong name and the wrong number, but you know, like same idea.
Well, there's not an insignificant number of games where the
as well
physics execution is tied to the frame rate.
frame rate, yeah.
Well, not just the physics execution, but really
the everything, yeah.
Because the execution of things is tied to the frame rate.
Yeah.
I remember Dan had to help me figure out how to make frame rate independent animations.
Right. Yeah.
So that when you hit forward, it was not dependent. The distance you traveled was not dependent on your frame rate.
Yeah. Right.
It's very easy to do. Yeah. Doom 2016 does have frame rates where you want 200 plus. I was watching
well, that was
BioShock Infinite.
Oh, jeez.
You just eat shit.
Yeah, Crash handles like a runaway tractor trailer in this game, and I've played Crash 2 and 3 far more recently where he actually handles reasonably, and so it's like I'm adjusting fairly well, all things considered, and part of it is just because I still have a lot of muscle memory.
I imagine also some of it gets changed by the fact that you've played the Insane trilogy too.
Yeah, and that's different as well, because that models its physics much closer to the sort of... It's sort of in between Crash 2 and Crash 3, it's a bit odd.
Yeah. So why do you kill the bat at the start? I've noticed that you do this.
I don't know, I mostly just do it. If you kill both bats, it actually stops the things entirely. So there's...
Right, but
so they know what's...
kill the second bat, because you're not going to go backwards.
True, but if the first bat is still there, the bats still spawn.
Yeah.
And I guess I've just sort of always done it that way. I don't remember the cycles for this well enough, I'll take the safe option.
Yeah. Go safe.
No, in the later sort of version of this, Sunset Vista, the kind of sequel level, I guess you'd call it. There is a section where there is a bat where you do sort of go back and forth if you want to go for the optimal box route, I guess.
Right. I was gonna say to Dan, because I don't think he caught it. There's bits in Bioshock Infinite where you want 350 FPS.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, because their physics engine is
350.
tied to their frame rate.
That's terrible.
I mean, it's surprisingly easy to achieve. You just turn all of your settings down to
I
potato.
just love it when she just warps out of existence. Yeah, Dan, this game actually holds up surprisingly well.
I'm looking at this, and this looks better than some of the PS2 games I was playing the other day.
Yeah, I know. Like, I sat down and played Spyro and Ape Escape and some of the older PS1 games a while back, and I went, man, this game does not look as good as I thought it did. And some of that is because it's just not as nice on an HD screen when everything's sort of dithered and pixely and blur. But some of it is also that just this game really does look better than a lot of the other PS1 games. You know,
Well,
like
it's textured really well. Right?
Yeah, like one of the other things that they had to their advantage as well was like this memory paging thing, right? They sat down and went, okay, we want levels that are bigger than 1 megabyte. So rather than just like making everything look worse to fit it in with big levels, we'll just do clever memory paging and overwrite bits of the firmware so that it just works, you know? This is ordinarily wait, you get the red gem on this level? Okay, that's different too. There you go. So presumably then you don't get the red gem on Slippery Climb? That's odd. There you go. We live and learn. I did not know that. That doesn't actually help us save any time, but I think I can now get the box gem on Road to Nowhere.
I like that we're not speedrunning this, but we still care about saving time.
I mean, I want to be reasonably quick. I don't see much point in sort of arbitrarily dallying around.
Yes, fair. There's another tutorial text.
Good question, Dan. So the bonus rounds don't actually count crates in this game. I don't know if that was like a limitation of their engine or like a conscious decision or what. But
might just be an oversight.
Maybe. You just don't have to get the boxes in this game to get the gem. You do in the Insane Trilogy, however. You've got to get the boxes from the Tawna rounds, the Brio rounds, and the Cortex rounds to get the gem.
Actually, I wonder if the bonus rant level counts as a separate level in their engine.
Possibly. Like, I could well and truly believe something weird like that, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I just know that that is the what. Let me rephrase that. I don't know why it happens. I just know that that's what happens.
What I kind of like about Crash Bandicoot compared to the other like PlayStation headlining games is that Crash Bandicoot is reasonably pure. At least Crash 1.
There's very little let's flip hamburgers or have like a ballroom dancing minigame. Yeah.
Yeah, there is no ballroom dancing minigame in this game.
There's the hog levels and the boulder levels, and that's kind of it for like gimmick levels, I guess you'd call them. I could have easily gone on one of those earlier cycles, but whatever.
I think in the later games they do more of the gimmicky stuff.
They definitely do.
How game design was going at the time.
There's really heated debates between some people about whether Crash 2 or Crash 3 was better because of the presence and absence of those minigames. I don't want to get hit by those bats, so I'm just going to let them go through. Catch and land a cycle. And there's a secret here. I don't remember which one it is. Yeah, okay, it is this one.
Right. How are you expected to find that?
There was Whooper Fruit that actually give you a hint. This game is actually pretty good at sort of giving you hints of where you should look at stuff. So Dan, what do you say?
First World War II, there were more gimmick levels.
Fair enough. I mean, 3 is actually my favourite of the bunch. I enjoy some of those gimmicks. The motorcycle levels in the Insane Trilogy can die in a dumpster fire. But all of the others I actually sort of enjoyed. I liked the fact that... I mean, I'm talking more about the original than the remake at this point, but I liked that you could sort of play as Coco for the first time ever. That was up there with, like, you know, Pokemon Crystal, you can play as a girl. And, like, just sort of tradition from then, I have consistently played as, like, the female Pokemon trainer or Coco where possible, just because, you know, I think it's a good thing to have in video games.
Yeah.
And I like that. And, yeah, it's a nice change from so many games where you just couldn't.
Yeah, it's nice to pretend to be something different. Like I get to
I'm-
be a
I'm
generic
using
white
Australian
guy every day in my normal life. You know?
Yeah, I guess. Does this upset you, Dan? How many boxes I'm leaving behind? Oh, okay, I didn't leave behind boxes. I guess the TNT got them. I didn't mind the jet ski. I really enjoyed the tiger. The underwater ones were okay. Some of them are actually really interesting to try and play fast. Like, the relics for some of them are interesting just because of how you can sort of skip some cycles and do cool stuff with them. And yeah, like, having Coco as a toggle for everything is good. It's alright, Dan. I should probably tell you, though, it was completely unintentional. I was trying to leave some behind. You can die on bats there right at the end, and it sucks. I've done it. Don't do it.
So if Coco's a toggle in Insane,
Yes.
does that mean that she's just basically a reskin of Crash?
Yeah, she is. So her body slam animation in 2 and 3 is different. She just, like, rather than a belly flop, just straight up, like, ass drops. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a wrestling move more than someone, like, diving into a pool, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. That's the best I've got. Oh, yeah, bridge level.
What have we got?
Now, is this the one? No, it's not the one where you walk backwards.
Not doing cheater strats and standing on the
Don't
rope?
need them. I will have you know, I got the Platinum Relic on the Insane Trilogy the honest way. Thank you very much.
Ah. Isn't it faster though once you get consistent at it?
Not really. I mean,
You don't have to like cycle for the hog.
I just
and you don't lose
absolutely
time to
balls
jump.
that hog up. I could have just skipped over it, but I'm out of practice, and I know that some of these cycles are a little different. But I'm holding forwards, right? I'm not actually pausing for jumps. I'm just pushing the X button in just slightly different pressures to sort of compensate for where I want Crash to move.
Wait, I've never seen this before in my life.
You need the red gem to get it, and we do some arbitrary running around for really no good reason. And then, I like this little touch. They give you a mask specifically so that you can actually spin this TNT. Right? Oh no, never mind. You can do that there. I thought you had to spin that. Never mind. Well, that is all the boxes from there.
Right. Okay, your Nightbot says that you've been streaming for 42 minutes.
48 seconds. I
48
should have drunk
seconds.
98 litres of water. Oh man. Okay, let's go. Ooh, first death of that level.
Right.
Can't get the gem now, which is a shame, but that's alright.
I mean, it's not like you're hurting for lives. You
Oh
have
boy,
90.
that was woeful. I have 89, right? I think my record is actually 90-something by the end of the first island.
Right.
I am just going to take that a little slower because I've died there twice and I'd feel silly if I died there 3 times, honestly.
This is the second island?
This is the second island, yeah. At this
Yeah.
point, I'm somewhere between a third... Oh, man. Somewhere between a third and halfway through the game.
Right.
It's sort of hard to estimate because the later levels are longer and harder, and there's no good apples-to-apples comparison.
I like that the game gave you a sympathy life.
No, it was a life that spawned there from a life box before. This game doesn't do sympathy lives. It does do sympathy masks, if I recall correctly. So does 2 and 3. If you die enough times, it goes, we feel bad for you, man. Here's some help.
You might be a weak player or a disabled child.
It's true. It's like, you know, it's sort of like 6 or 7 deaths in the one area. In 2, and you get an extra mask. You hit like 10 or something, and it gives you... I don't know why I got on that, I can't get the gem anyway. 10, and it gives you like a double mask. I think 2 also would occasionally put in extra checkpoints for some levels as well if you died enough.
Right.
I know that it's either Road to Ruin or Ruination. If you die enough in one section, it does give you like a single checkpoint crate. I don't know if it does it elsewhere. But there you go. So this is now the second boulder level, if I recall correctly. Yes. Cool. I don't think I can get the gem in this one. I think this one requires the purple gem. So, sorry, Dan, I'm leaving boxes behind.
It's okay. I think he's gone away to feed his cat.
That's fair enough. He'll be back, and he'll see that I missed boxes and be angry at me.
I mean, he's a bro. He didn't turn off the string.
This is true.
Hasn't changed.
Yeah. When the Insane Trilogy came out, for a brief while, I was the holder of like 3rd best time for this level. For like a couple of hours, which I was pretty pleased with. And then they discovered how to really optimally do this level, and there was like speed tech and hop sliding, all of that was found. That was terrible. Yeah. And of course, I just like plummeted off the leaderboard. But yeah, I actually really like these chase levels.
On the subject of speed tech,
yep.
Just before we started this, some guy on YouTube was like having a go at me for doing some stuff suboptimally on my Star Trek run.
Right.
Which I did like 9 months ago. I like pulled out this game that I hadn't played in years, and saw that there wasn't even a leaderboard. I like applied to get a leaderboard made.
Right.
On speedrun.com.
So you're now a moderator of a game on speedrun.com?
Yeah, I'm the moderator. Nice. Literally no one else has ever bothered to submit a run.
Oh, free world record. Great.
Yeah, and he's like, this is so suboptimal. You did this. And I'm like...
Feel free to run the game, my dude.
I'm like, well, you know... the reason I did this is that I haven't played this game in years, and didn't know better.
Yeah, fair enough. Now this is Sunset Vista in the US version, but it's Slippery Climb here. So here's like another major change for like a level in Software. Like this one is not just 1 or 2 levels different. This is a complete island different.
Right. Yeah.
And this is probably my least favorite level of this game. If I'm going to die a bunch, it's going to be on this level.
Right.
This is the watered-down version of Stormy Ascent.
Yeah. I immediately got very Stormy Ascent vibes.
Yeah, it's the same sort of like level type, I guess you'd call it.
Because a lot of instances they have the like chill version early on,
and then
they have the same level again, but it's a bit harder.
There's our first death.
What have I got?
Oh, you just totally missed that.
Yeah, I did. As I said, run away.
Yeeted yourself off the edge, as the kids would say.
It's true. I did. I mean, this is where I'm just going to lose like all 92
lives. So we just sit there and watch you die and die and die and laugh.
I can actually still technically get the gem because I died before a checkpoint, but I'm not going to bother. I cannot be asked.
If you sit here and you die 92 times, I'm going to make a chatbot command for it.
I mean, Ben, I didn't even die 92 times on Stormy Ascent. Like, my first clear of it, it took me like, I don't know, 20 lives, I want to say. That was playing it blind. I'd never played it in the beta version. I have since then.
Right.
And the beta version is definitely harder, but that's mostly because Crash One handles like a tank.
I'm pretty sure I came to visit you and you let me have a try at Stormy Ascent and you stopped me after I hadn't made it to the first checkpoint in 30 lives.
Yeah, something like that.
Like, I'm not very good at this game.
I mean, Stormy Ascent is not an easy level, right? And again, like I consider myself a decent Crash player.
Yeah.
And like, if I'm struggling that much with a level, then yeah, it probably shouldn't have been in the release version, you know? Like, if I'm burning 30 lives on a level, then there's a good chance that, like, that was
you should
just
ask
terrible.
yourself, like, would a good player game over on this level from, like, what stuff they give you after a game
I just
over?
want to point out there, that was entirely my fault, and I am eternally shamed, I guess.
Okay. Please go and commit honorable Sudoku.
Yeah, will do.
Have you considered streaming Sudoku? It's a chill game.
I have considered streaming Sudoku, actually. I do challenge Sudokus. Have you ever heard of a thermo Sudoku or a night Sudoku before?
I've heard of night Sudokus, but not a thermo Sudoku, no.
Okay, well, a thermo Sudoku is where there's a thermometer shape, and you have... That was ridiculous. Smaller numbers near the base. I'm just going to pause here for a moment while I explain it, because otherwise I'm going to do something stupid. It's smaller numbers near the base of the thermometer, and they get larger as you move to the top. And each number in the Sudoku must be larger than the ones before and smaller than the ones after it. And you can use it as like an additional sort of piece of logic. Same kind of idea as night Sudoku. It's like an extra constraint that means they can take away numbers and force you to use more logic.
Yes.
Now, I'll pay attention to this cycle now. Oh dear.
I always have a lot of trouble jumping to platforms that weren't there yet.
Yeah, fair.
It's actually a difficult skill to be able to visualize where it's going to be.
It's not one that I've actually ever really had an issue with, I've got to say. That was me not doing what I should do and adjusting for Crash 1 momentum. That was me just messing the jump up entirely.
Yeah.
There. Oh my god. Ben, I'm going to have to commit some real Sudoku after this.
Yeah, I know, right?
My goodness. I mean, at least I didn't die. That's something.
I demand Sudoku.
Man, it's been so long since I've played this game. And I'm just, like, forgetting where everything is.
I do think you're probably getting stuffed around by the differences.
There's definitely some differences because it is... Some of it's fast and some of it's slower than what I'm used to. The cycles are just different to PAL.
Yeah.
And that definitely makes it...
Did you spin that guy? I totally missed that. Maybe
I think I spun that guy. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. My fingers just sort of did what they knew they had to do. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, when I'm playing a lot of Crash levels, I'm not even really actively paying attention to what I'm doing. My fingers just kind of do the work.
It's muscle memory.
It really is. And I've accrued a lot of it at this point. I've been playing these games for so long that... Like, I mean, you saw it. I can do a couple of Crash Team Racing levels blindfolded.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, this game is old enough to drink in our country.
Oh, well and truly. I mean, it's old enough to drink in any country. It's over 21.
Is it?
Yeah, like they released the Insane Trilogy for the 20th anniversary, I think.
That's right.
Oh well. Those bonus levels are not easy, and I just sort of don't care enough to really do properly at them. I'm not interested in 100%ing this. I don't care. Wow. The Brio rounds actually don't do anything for you in this game anyway, for what it's worth.
Okay, yeah.
I do not know how I am doing so terribly at this.
How are you so bad at video games?
I know, right? I'm normally good at this video game.
When I said to nerf you earlier, it was a joke.
Someone clearly took it seriously.
Clearly. What happened there?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's okay, I saved it.
You just stood on the floor.
I had a mask.
I
had a mask.
Okay.
The hitboxes in the Insane Trilogy are super janky for some of them, for what it's worth, and I don't know why.
Right.
It's just so ridiculous that she just disappears.
Yeah. It's also clear that she's just a billboard.
Yeah, and we just get like a sort of PowerPoint transition animation out of existence, you know?
Yeah.
We're near the end of the level now. That wasn't too bad. That's far more lives lost than I would have liked. But I'm still like...
I mean, they give you a fair few lives.
They do. Like, I'm still
right
sitting
here
at,
at
what,
the
like
end,
96? I would take that. That's not bad. I probably lost, I don't know, like 8, 9 lives over the course of that level.
They expect you to lose some lives on that level.
They do, certainly for first playthroughs, but because they expect you to get all the boxes and not die, they clearly expect you to be able to do that without dying. And like, I've done it. You know, even in the Insane Trilogy, you have to do it without dying to get the coloured gem.
Yeah,
Third
and
boss,
I have no doubts that the devs could play that level without dying with their eyes closed.
Oh, probably. This is, again, I think different music compared to the PAL and NTSC-J versions. I could be wrong.
I've never
been a
actually
long
seen this
time
boss
since-
fight before.
Okay, so we are presumably now like past the point at which you know what's going on. Like this is beyond what Ben was able to do.
Yeah, this is long past what Ben was able to do, but it's also the point where I have hilariously missed people doing it. Like, I'm familiar with the end of this game.
Right, okay. This is just in the bit where you sort of zone out and you're doing something else whilst the runner's going or whatever.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This is in, like, bathroom break o'clock.
That's true. Like, he's not a particularly interesting boss fight, I've got to say. It's just like jump or spin these things. You can actually spin them for a problem. Yeah, you can. And the game is very generous. It just gives you 2 masks here, even if you don't have them going into it. Like, it's sort of hard to go wrong with this game. You do have to wait to make sure that you line up the boulder cycles with the carts. If you hit a cart, it just whiffs. And you've got to have him do this thing again. But, like, he's, you know, an exercise in jumping and pushing square at the right time.
What is the lore here? Why is this guy throwing boulders at you?
That's a great question. There is no law other than he just wants to be small and a coal mine's the way to do it. It's cheaper than gym membership.
True.
Exercise is good for you, children.
But coal fumes aren't great for your lungs.
I mean, he's a mutant koala. I sort of feel like there's a point at which it just kind of doesn't matter anymore, you know?
True. Is the implication that kind of like Crash is just a Cortex experiment gone wrong?
Oh, there's no implication. Like, the one cutscene in this game tells you that he's... I mean, in fairness, all of Cortex's experiments are Cortex's experiments gone wrong. Another tutorial. Like, come on, man. I've gotten how many masks at this point?
But what if you forgot?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's just as well this game is here to tell me what to do if I forget. Secret little area down here.
Second.
What have I got?
Sorry, I'm back.
Oh, that's alright. I was just getting some boxes from a secret little area that took me way too long to find as a kid.
I had to be strong husbando, man.
Of course.
And
Ben has left the meeting. Nice. Ben has returned to the chat.
yeah, so yes, is some ancient Microsoft mouse.
Right.
But it has 2 buttons on it on either side that are infinitely annoying because one goes backwards and one goes forward.
Yeah, I have the same thing with mine. It's terrible.
And because it's the most ancient mouse you've ever seen, there's no software for it. Like, it's not like I can just open up like the Razer console or whatever.
Yeah.
And say ignore this button, please.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't know why, but I've always preferred old, terrible mice.
That's revolting. I mean, is it at least like an optical mouse?
It is an optical mouse, but my like preferred DPI is like 800.
I mean, that's actually not far off from what my preferred one is. I prefer it around the sort of 900,000 mark, but even still, it's not the sort of 19,000 that some people use.
Yeah, I can't use a high DPI mouse. It's just I like you twitch and it flies across the screen and I'm like I don't want this.
Yeah. So here's something that is really terrible about this game that doesn't personally affect me.
Right.
The only way to save is to either get a gem, right, in which case you save at the end of the level when you get it, or to complete a bonus level. If you die on the bonus level, you cannot re-enter it. You are locked out of that bonus level. So if you are a weak player, disabled child, just had a bad day, whatever, right? Too bad.
You can't even just save on the overworld at the end of the level.
No, that is not an option. You can only save at fixed points in the game.
Huh.
As I
Crazy.
understand that, part of it is because they had a mandate from Sony to like, memory cards aren't things that we just sort of automatically expect all players to have. So you've got to have like a password system. And so because of the way they implemented it, it was like, we've got to make sort of finite save points because we've only got a certain number of like meaningful button combinations that we could use for the passwords.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd argue that you could still do a better job than what they had. Like, every time you load the game, it forgets how many lives you had, for example. And sometimes you have to replay a level that you've already beaten just because, like, stuff. You know, like, oh, yeah, you did the bonus level, but it was a third of the way through the level, so we rounded down. I don't know.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I need that. I actually don't, but whatever. Dan, that's like a dumb thing that happens with like a couple of Mario games and older platformers as well. Saving was not good in a lot of these levels.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I was playing my PS2 the other day, and I was shocked at how slow saving was. I'm like, this is an 8 megabyte memory card. Like, plus.
Yeah, I know. It's
Why
flash
does
memory.
this take
of that.
30 seconds to save?
It's flash memory. Why does it take 30 seconds irrespective of the size, right? You can rip a DVD to an SSD, like a 4 gigabyte file in seconds. There is no reason why something that takes, I don't know, 7
I just
ones
have to
and a
assume
zero.
it's the integrated controllers or whatever.
I mean, presumably. Oh god, I've hit the level cap.
Yes, you cannot get more lives.
I will still get these because I think I'm still on the running for the box gem.
Right.
But
At least they are good programmers, and it's not like getting so many lives underflows you to negative lives.
Yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, there we go. That's a gem.
Could you imagine that? You get 257 lives, and then you have to sit through 255 death screens to game over.
Yeah,
Just in a row, right? You spawn and you die.
Oh man. Since
See
we're
you
coming
in 10
towards
minutes, kid.
Yeah, because we're coming towards the end of the game, I'll raise this. This did have one interesting thing in like every release of the game. You can 100% the game without ever beating the final boss.
Right.
100%ing comes from getting all of the gems and beating a level called the Great Hall through like a sort of alternate exit, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
And that does not require that you beat the final boss to do so.
I find it interesting that there's a pile of green.
I don't
sludge
remember
that
the
says
optimal
Cortex
route to
power.
get the gem here. I know that I can get the gem on this first route, but I really can't be bothered.
Like, what is Cortex power? It looks like Monster Energy drink.
It is like so. The canon explanation is this is the power plant for like the evil genius lab that like Cortex is inhabiting. I don't know how I did such a terrible job of that. That was woeful.
You are bad at video games.
Oh man, terrible. Oh good, I get a tutorial because I died. Games just rubbing it in that I suck at video games.
Yeah. I mean, if it doesn't tell you to get good, who will?
Yeah. That was janky, but we're okay. That
I had to
was
explain
terrible.
that
That
to
was
my
not
wife.
okay. What? Get good.
Yeah.
Right.
If this is the power plant, this is the most
that's right. You
inefficiently
do need
designed
the
power plant I've ever seen.
And look at all these OH&S violations.
Yeah, I
right?
was about
There's
to
just
say,
open
OSHA is
pits of
gonna have
acid
field
everywhere.
day.
Like, come on, people. You know better than this.
I-
Dan,
Where's
I
the
just want you to
gardener?
know I'm doing this just to upset you, and because I'm that much of a Chad, I'm just going to leave that last life box there. I'm not sorry. Deal with it.
But you didn't make the girl.
The Torna spawn out? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
She can stay 3D this time.
She's gonna just stand there forever.
I mean, that sounds like a her problem.
Yeah.
Not a me problem, you know?
But aren't you inhabiting the persona of Crash? And is she not your girlfriend?
No, I just don't care.
Whenever I think about
I
her
am
being
Japanese, Crash, and I choose to believe that he
right.
has his own separate waifu.
Yeah,
None
of
of this 3D girl nonsense.
Yeah, he's into the 2D.
Yeah, he's simping real hard.
Right.
I hear he subs to Pokemon. You know, it's...
Right. You with your 2 followers.
Actually, I can
and 3
actually
views.
still get the gem in this if I recall correctly. So I will actually have a go at that. I may as well.
Just like having a crack at like a very successful. I like this.
I mean, I'll have a crack at whoever I want. See if I care.
I know. I read your bio. It's important to be a Chad in your bio.
I mean,
Set the expectations. You know?
I don't care what you think is important in my bio.
I know. That's a me problem.
That's exactly right. That platform actually falls, if I recall correctly. Let's see.
No, I
no,
don't
it
think
does.
it's gonna
There we
fall.
go. No, it fell.
Ah, that just took a lot longer than I thought it would.
Yeah, I think it's very lenient because weak players, disabled children, all that. I mean that makes sense. It's far more generous than I'd expect. There sort of comes a point at which there's kind of not much point in it falling at all. But whatever. I mean that's another example of the devs taking away time as a dimension that you can move in. Like by forcing you to sort of deal with timing puzzles or
Platforms that fall.
Platforms that form. It forces you to move in 3D space, but under restrictions.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff they did in terms of like design of this game and sort of getting the most out of a system that was powerful but still limited.
I mean, the PS1 have like meg of RAM.
Oh yeah, I know. And like a bunch of these levels are much larger than 1 meg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did all sorts of cool stuff with just like unloading and loading chunks of the level based on where you were to fit these large and complex things that were still textured and detailed in. Like if you look at Tomb Raider or Metal Gear or any of these other things that had large levels, oh good, I get another Aku Aku tutorial.
Yes.
I really don't know why I get another Aku Aku tutorial, but whatever. That's okay.
I mean, you just lost Aku Aku, so clearly you need one.
I mean, presumably. It's that thing of like, I'll play more carefully if I actually have to. If I've got Aku Akus, I'll take risks.
Yeah. I feel like Aku Aku should save you from yourself in more situations.
What do you mean by that?
I haven't been paying enough attention, but does he still lets you just fall straight to your death, right?
Oh yeah, as he should.
See, I feel like he should save you, but you lose him for falling to your death. Because I'm a bad player.
I think there comes a point at which you just go, nah, you as a player, you need to learn that like jumping over stuff is an essential part of this game, and we don't want to sort of shelter you from that. It's the kind of helicopter parenting. If you don't let your kids fail, then, oh my god, I'm giving parenting advice. This is the worst idea ever.
Yeah, don't do that.
But it's the idea of making mistakes.
If you had an Aku Aku there and you missed the last jump, then it takes you back to the start of where you started jumping.
I don't know. I think it's the idea of, like, in games, you've got to have that question of, like, how much punishment is the right amount for doing something wrong. And sometimes getting something wrong is enough punishment. Yeah. Sometimes you actually have to penalize them with, like, no, this is really wrong. Learn from that.
Because if jumping is wrong, then why have, like if you jump poorly, get good, why even have checkpoints?
That's a good question. I'd throw out there that they have the requirement of deathless runs for gems. And so the checkpoints are like, we'll let you do these sort of, 17 jumps in a row properly, right? Yeah. And then the big boy thing is we'll let you do the entire level properly and without deaths.
Yeah.
This one, I believe, has the blue gem. I don't know if that's still the same in the Japanese version. I'm just going to assume it is until I die and stop caring,
Yeah, fair.
So let's see if we can do this deathless.
I mean, we're making good time through the game.
Oh, yeah, I mean... What have I got? Wow. Tutorial cucked me.
Yeah.
I would not have died if that tutorial didn't tell me its business. That's...
The in-level screen says 48%. I assume that's game completion, right?
Yeah, and that counts gems and keys, and like the 2 bonus levels, which I'm not going to bother doing.
So it means that you're more than halfway through the game.
I'm just going to take a safety jump there. I can see why they stopped running this game on Japanese, because that's obnoxious, and that's going to lose some runs at some point. Because like all the world record things are deathless, except for the intentional death abuses, you know?
Yeah. I don't think that's safe storage of hazardous materials.
No, it's definitely not. And like this walkway up here just has no safety railings. Like, who designed this facility? I mean, I know that the answer is actually pinstripe, but you know, don't at me.
I'm also not convinced that those employees are wearing sufficient PPE.
No, I'd agree. Just like a generic hat is not an acceptable piece of headwear.
There's also several places where you have to literally jump over gaps.
I'm just going to take this one slow. Because, you know, blue gem's still on the table, I figure we may as well.
Yeah.
What have I got?
Okay, I got that one wrong.
According to Dan, they're not actually hazardous material. Crash, you're just deathly allergic to anything that isn't ancient marks.
Oh, that explains it. I mean, he can eat fruit as well. He's got that.
True. These Sony games with their environmentalism messages.
I just can't get over the fact that they took out Cortex picking her up and just went, nah, man, PowerPoint that bitch.
Yeah.
Why? What's the point, you know?
What I find interesting is that you appear to be suffering frame rate drops in the menu.
Yeah, there's another weird thing that like some PS1 games did for some reason. Is that some of them have 480... Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Some of them have 480i in the menus for some reason.
Right.
Okay, alright. Ben, help.
GG. I mean, I am helping by viciously mocking you for a game that you're better at me than.
I don't know why I thought that would work. I should really pay attention to what I'm doing.
You need to stop and breathe and check your posture and drink some water.
There we go. That should not have been anywhere near that difficult. That was a shameful display.
I admire you for not resetting, you know.
Apparently I missed 26 boxes, but I don't know how exactly they figure that. I mean, I died. I shouldn't get the gem. I died, but, you know, whatever.
Well, when you die, don't all of the boxes respawn? Is that not why you missed
I
them?
don't think so.
Because I think that's what happens in the new versions.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, welcome to Pinstripe. This game is now a cover-based shooter.
Oh, okay.
You literally duck and cover. That is the gimmick of this fight.
Again, another fight I've never actually seen.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this music, not a banger. The oh gosh, the PAL and NTSC-J versions of this are fantastic, and like the pre-console version is amazing.
The problem is that this music is so close to being a banger. It has many elements that would make it a great banger.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just the boss themes in general. I'll pay attention to what I'm doing and remember that that's. Man, it's been so long since I've played this that I've forgotten how to pinstripe.
I also like that in the Crash universe, chairs are made of materials strong enough to stop bullets.
Oh yeah, not ancient masks though.
Yeah.
That was
I mean, what
bizarre.
universe are ancient marks made of material that stop bullets?
I mean, probably in an ancient universe where chairs
I
are.
completely missed him.
Yeah, I did. I didn't do this very well. That was a woeful pinstripe. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's okay. It's a casual playthrough. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it does, Dan. The original was way better. Like, go look at it on YouTube at some point. Like, the pinstripe boss music is fantastic. Alright, here we go. Oh well, let's try that again.
Ah, this is an infamous level.
It's really not that bad. Like,
You're
it's not
literally jumping
trivial.
to invisible platforms.
And I'd point out I got it second try.
Yeah, but like, how the hell are you meant to judge your jumps first try?
Yeah, fair, I guess. That was woeful. Okay, I've stopped caring about the gem at this point. I've stopped caring about everything at this point.
Well, crazy. That's quite the hot take.
Yeah.
Bridge level PTSD. Exactly, Dan.
I mean, I really think a lot of people sort of oversold. That was stupid. I need that. Okay, alright. We're roping because I'm a dunce.
I want to point out that most of your deaths happen on bridge levels.
Did that...
I think the other rope is the better rope.
Could I maybe spin that in time? There we go. Thank you.
Have you remembered to drink 90 liters of water?
I have not. Man, I should get on that.
You're quite behind there.
That was stupid.
It's okay, because it was a
Again,
checkpoint.
I don't know why I thought that would work.
Like,
just-
you were like most of the way down on your jump. You had no momentum.
I'm just going to blame the fact that it's the NTSC-J version. I'm not used to the timing. I'm just going to let this turtle move over a bit.
I'm going to blame it on the fact that you had like 4 hours of sleep last night.
I mean, there is that too. And it is
You should have
entirely my
reported them
fault
for
as well.
violating noise.
Yeah, probably.
We live in a society, James. There are rules.
Fun fact. So, you see how I... Oh my god.
Fun fact, oh my god.
Yeah. So, fun fact, right? When you jump on things in sort of successive chains, I guess you'd call them.
Yes.
In this and other Crash games, you get Wumpa Fruit, and if you bounce on enough of them, you get lives, right?
Yeah.
If you bounce on them enough, it kind of like underflows or goes into some hidden area of memory, I don't know, and you just start getting like gems and stuff. Like, the Crash 2 80% speedrun is just jump on some boxes and then some seals for a while, collect crystals just spontaneously, and then sit for 5 minutes whilst Crash just pulls 25 crystals out of his ass.
Right.
It's odd, because some of them correspond to levels in the game, some of them just appear to be, oh my god, dummy crystals, that just,
Right.
you know, it's odd. You can get, like, over 100% completion in them.
Well, I assume that it's quite common for
I don't know
to
why
have
I am failing that.
developer things in them.
Yeah, and
But,
I'd assume that's what's going on here.
Like,
It's
those
just very
crystals
odd.
were there for testing, so you did not have to play the whole game.
Presumably.
And that the crystals are still there, but the command to give you the crystals is taken out.
Probably.
Dan thinks you're incredible.
I can't tell if that incredible is at my terrible, like, jumping and it's sarcastic, or if he's actually being genuine because I haven't died 5,000 times and used the ropes.
Dan is
at
a
this
much
point-
more wholesome person than me.
I
Thus,
know,
I must
but
assume
this-
that he is saying incredible in a get good fashion.
See, you know, I don't make any assumptions at all.
You don't?
Nah.
None.
No.
Ever. In your entire life.
I have not discounted the possibility that Dan attempted to write "You're the worst streamer I've ever witnessed. You're terrible at Crash Bandicoot. Give up in life." And it's just that he's really bad at spelling. Yeah, I like to think the worst in everyone, including myself.
Right, okay.
No, but I just don't know, because like it's a text-based medium. It is so hard to tell if someone is being sarcastic or not with a word like incredible. Oh yeah,
No,
I know.
I wasn't
right?
doing it. Yeah.
That's fair, Dan. I did die a bunch.
Right.
Oh right, okay, yes.
Also, the first time I read Dan's comment about dying a bunch, I thought it said dying like a bitch. I'm like,
Wow.
yes.
Now this is where Slippery Climb used to be. Okay, so we now have Sunset Vista here. So this was on Island 2. They're the other versions.
Right.
And it
Yes,
is-
I'm thinking I have played this level before.
yeah, it's the longest level in the game.
Where
if I
was it?
recall correctly. Near the end of Island 2, just before
Right.
Koalagon. You can get a key for this level.
I think this is the level that I'm stuck on in the Insane Trilogy.
Right, okay. Well, get good.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thanks, Aku Aku. I really needed that tutorial. Don't know what I'd do without you, fam.
Not know how to use him.
Probably. Wow. Incredible.
Have you considered just being good at video games?
Nah, man, that sounds lame. I mean, I think the real problem is that just as I sort of play more, I just sort of stop paying as much attention and the mistakes start coming out.
Clearly, you just need to hold more things in memory, so I recommend you download RAM.
Like, to me or to my
Yeah,
computer?
to you.
How?
I
I'm
mean-
pretty sure they don't have Chrome for human.
Well, I figure that if you what you do, right, is you put on a virtual reality headset,
Okay,
and
this will
then
be
you
good.
download RAM.
Yeah.
And because you now exist in a virtual world with additional RAM, you then play the game.
That sounds entirely reasonable.
So that's my train of thought there. I feel like they should give you something for picking up more lives when your lives are maxed out.
Why?
But I mean, like, what are they going to give you?
I mean,
You
what's
know,
the
for
point?
free?
Let's face it. If you have 99 lives, then it's already a. Well, you know, you'll be fine at this game, sort of thing. You can do this bit so much faster, but I can't be bothered. Can you? Is there something in here? There is. There's a mask apparently. Okay.
I like that Dan's like, those were all real words.
What are all real
Yes.
words?
Well, I assume Dan is referring to my completely ridiculous fun post.
Oh right. Yes. That was very careless.
But I feel like my whole job here is to just fun post at you.
Fair. Fair.
If you
Wouldn't
were
have it
running
any other
speed
way.
running the game, part of my job would also be to remind you to click the go faster button. And
This
to
is true.
But you haven't got splits or a go faster button, so.
True.
I have to work tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to it.
Let's try that again.
Aren't you glad there's no fall damage in this game?
Oh, I know, right? I'm pretty sure the fall damage is like you fall into a pit, you're dead. Like that's a form of fall damage, technically, right?
True, true. There's no height-based fall damage. It's not like, you fell, you know,
This is
100 meters and broke both your femurs, but, you know, we're cool. You're not dead, so it's fine.
I mean, Dan, there's also the thing of like this is Australian internet, and like my stream settings are not amazingly dialed in. That probably contributes to it as well.
Yeah. But it's all latency, right? Because Dan sees the video. So what happens is that I see the video, I shitpost to you. Then it appears in the video, and then Dan sees it.
Yeah,
and
true.
Dan talks to me, and there are so many back and forth layers here.
So those are the bats there where it is advantageous to kill both, because like otherwise you'd just be killed. But that's probably the only actual meaningful point of it in this game, I guess. I just sort of do it out of habit. I don't know.
I know the NBN has its problems, but
You can stop that sentence there, Ben. You've said it all.
it's preferable to the old world where Telstra just owned everything and refused to upgrade anything because it would cost.
I guess, yeah.
Like, at least some people have
Are you
half
kidding me?
decent internet.
Rip Gem and Key, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't know that the NBN had its problems?
I mean, Ozpol. We know their thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I could have gone there. I should have gone there. Ben has left again.
That was the wrong button.
Yeah, nice.
Going to eat some cake, and I went to click the please mute myself button, and instead hung up on you.
Nice.
I'm glad that it doesn't require your intervention for me to immediately rejoin.
Yeah. Otherwise, you
Sorry.
would not be getting back in. That's okay.
I'm just bad at video calls. How am I so bad at life?
I don't know.
It's up for debate.
There's no point in me going for that, because I can't get the key anyway. So, oh well, I guess. Oh, man. I do think it's weird, like, the levels that they swapped around. I kind of get why they moved this to the third island, because it is long, right?
Yeah.
But that then means they had to move Slippery Climb, arguably the hardest or second hardest level in this game, to the second island.
Yeah,
And
which
that
does
just
make a lot of
feels-
sense.
Yeah. I don't know, that's a bit odd, I guess.
It also thematically doesn't feel right.
Yeah, this feels very Island 2.
Particularly because, like, you can see off in the background of this level another island.
Well,
that
I mean,
has-
if you look carefully, that island is the one that has the blimp and is the final island, right? That
Yeah.
would imply that we are not on the island that the map says we are, you know?
Yeah.
That's just... It's odd.
It is.
Is this Lights Out? Or is that the next one? Yes, there we go.
So do you even own a PS1 memory card? I assume you
Oh
do.
yeah, I've got a PS1 memory card. Like, if you notice, the first time I saved the game, I had to, like, pick the memory card that I was saving to, and at this point it just saves over the same slot. So I don't have to, like, confirm it or anything. But yeah, that is the... Wow. That is the Japanese text for, do you want to, like, play video games later and not have to do it all over again without writing down a series of button pushes?
Yes.
Literal translation. It localizes to, do you have a memory card?
So what other PlayStation 1 games do you have? I assume you don't have an extensive library.
Not
'cause-
really, not really. I've got the Crash games, all of them, a couple of copies of each, in fact.
Yes, this is. I've seen your English edition before.
Well, editions plural. I have a couple
Yes.
actually. I've got the Spyro games. I think that's pretty much it for PS1 games that I have.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a lot of PS1 games either.
Like there
probably
were a
because
lot
it
that
was
were just sort of a bit meh. Wow.
The PS1 had some mech games, like more mech games.
Yeah, it did.
And games that haven't held up as well.
Yeah, I would put Crash in a sort of rare category of games that do actually hold up. Like, I don't think Spyro does. You know, like, I've played the Insane trilogy and the Reignited trilogy for the...
Yeah.
What am I doing? For the Crash and Spyro games, respectively. And I feel like, even though they both look nicer than the originals by far, obviously,
Yeah.
I'll just casually complete that bit in the dark, because it's actually not that hard to do. Yeah, even despite the sort of lick of paint, I feel like the Insane, the original Crash Bandicoot games still look good. But the Spyro games don't, even in isolation. They
Well,
just,
not
they're a
even
bit
talking
meh.
about looking good, but just from
Okay, that was
gameplay and game design.
I'm counting that as the first not my fault death of the run. I
Right.
got stuck on some geometry.
Ugh. I'll cut you with my
That
razor
was
sharp
fun.
PlayStation 1 polygon.
I mean, fair. I really don't know why I'm having trouble with this, because this is a level I've actually done blindfolded before. Literally
Yes,
blindfolded.
You are just completely ruined. I don't know what.
Man, I don't know why. This is a bit, but that's okay. We made it through there.
We're not at the end yet.
Oh,
Because
man.
it also thematically doesn't seem to make a lot of sense that like you climbed up a jungle temple, and now you're in a castle.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just a bit odd.
Yeah.
I don't know why it took me like 17 attempts to finally get that one jump cleanly, but whatever, here we are.
I totally didn't realize that one of these boxes wasn't a checkpoint.
Right, yes. There's not a huge number of checkpoints in this level, actually. I'm just going to let that cycle sit. Grab this.
Well, it's arguably like a thing of like PlayStation 1. There just isn't a lot of checkpoints around.
I mean, I guess.
But yeah, I do think the PlayStation 2 is where it's at of early Sony. Actually, I'd say the PlayStation 2 is just where it's at. But, you
I
know.
mean, I'd say the PlayStation 2 is where it's at, with rare exception. I think that these games still hold up. Ignoring the graphics, the Spyro games still hold up. I'd maybe put things like, you know, Metal Gear, Ape Escape in a sort of tier below of, like, they're good.
Yeah.
But definitely dated.
They date from a mechanics perspective.
Well,
As
they
well
date
as a
from an
graphical
everything
perspective.
really.
Well, I mean, aside from graphics and mechanics, like, what do you have? Like,
Story.
okay, fair. I thought I had a point, and then you just destroyed me, so, you know. Cool.
I mean, that's my job in life, you know.
It kind of is.
I know
I'm
that I'm
probably-
invincible and that fire would not have killed me, but it makes you bounce weird, and it's just kind of no bueno, you know.
I'm probably suffering about 15 seconds of stream delay.
Oof.
Judging from when you got the mask to when you lost, like, when I saw you pick up the mask from when I heard you pick up the mask.
Right, okay.
Like, you only just sort of lost it to me. Oh well, we make do.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm trying to sit here and, like, fast-paced commentate whatever you're doing every
no.
3 seconds.
Oh, that's right. This is the level that has the Cortex thing in it. So what's the one on the second island that has the... I don't know. I'm having an existential crisis here. I've forgotten which level has the second key in this game. I thought it was Sunset Vista, but maybe not. I don't know. Life is hard.
I have no idea. I don't even know what the keys are used for.
They unlock bonus levels. There are 2 secret levels in this game that you unlock by completing those Cortex rounds. So if I just hit triangle, you'll see it in a moment on the stream, right? But Cortex's head in the bottom right-hand corner. There's 3 of those heads, just like, you know, Brio or Torna. You get a bonus round. If you beat that bonus round, then you can get a key, which just unlocks another level.
Cool.
They're the only tokens that you actually have to collect for 100% completion.
Right.
The Brio and Torna ones do not actually do anything at all. And in this version, in the Insane Trilogy, you've got to get all the boxes in those rounds. But...
Yes. Back when 100% was just for bragging rights, not fake internet points.
Yeah. I'll have you know, I'm proud of my fake internet points. And I think it's here? How ballsy am I feeling? Yeah. Very ballsy. Okay, well, that's right. But it's a falling platform and I took too long. That's alright. Again, I can't actually get the gem. I think I can still get the key? I don't remember where all the boxes are. I'll give it a crack.
We're just having a chill game.
Okay, cool. That's like my second not platforming death of this entire run, I think.
Yes.
Absolutely
You got
disgraceful.
ripped by a flower, and now you've been ripped by a snake.
By a snake? Yeah, yeah, disgraceful.
Slippery
Absolutely
snake.
disgraceful. Is it maybe that it's up here. No, it's not. Okay, I know that there's like a cortex token hidden somewhere. I just don't remember where. So I might have to do some exploration. I don't know.
Right. I mean, you could also just do it another day.
I mean, this is true, but I sort of feel like I'd rather just do it all at once now. You know, like I'm not going to 100% it, but if I can do the extra levels, I will. You know.
Yeah.
And then we go back here. Excuse me. There we go.
Oh. There's a giant mirror in the background? I'm confused.
Sorry, background of what?
I don't know.
Okay.
I assume
Well,
a level? I don't know if this is the case if I was just not paying attention to chat 10 minutes.
Probably. Dan probably said that 16 years ago and he's never going to forgive us for forgetting it.
Yeah.
That's okay.
A very odd comment from when you're talking about the island in the background. Wow, okay. Cool.
Oh, right, I see. Yes, okay.
The problem is, Dan, you're the only person in chat, and so it's very hard to see when there's new chat. Why can't you be multiple people?
I mean, I want to just throw out there that anyone that is so rubbish that he fails this many, like, animal, like, mutation experiment things probably cannot get a mirror that large in the background. Just, no.
I just want to know what ethics board.
Yeah, if you just change your username color, that'll make it so much easier. Thanks, Dan. Oh yeah, I'd like to do an audit of his lab. You know, just straight up steal a Java's quote.
Right, so mods can add comments to users. That's interesting. I can see how many times someone's been banned in this channel and how many times they've been timed out.
Okay, so here is where the green gem would be, right? There's the ending of the level right there. And if you jump on that green gem, it just lets you straight up go up to a little platform thing that then carries you, like, to the end of the level.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't have the green gem. For the speed run, you obviously do that because it saves all of the time saves starting from now, right? This is an entire level that you have to climb your way back up.
Yeah. Which is an interesting, like, concept with the wraparound.
Yeah.
Like, have your end right next to your beginning. Because it's so tantalizingly close.
Are you Ratchet and Clanking me here?
Yeah.
Nice to be back on some, like, sort of sensible platforming levels again. Because, like, there's a sort of couple of them on this island that feel a little janky.
Yeah.
Sunset Vista sort of feels like one of those. It's just so long, you know?
Well, I think it's a symptom of old school game design where there was probably a designer that designed this whole level.
Yeah, almost certainly.
And a designer that designed other levels, and so not all designers are equal.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, so some of the levels in this game are definitely better than others. The same is true of really most platformers, certainly ones that are worked on by teams, or are old, or both. This is both, of course. I kind of feel like this is one of the better ones. It's really just like the roots of platforming. There's no, you know, weird camera perspectives, which, like, this game has a few. It's not just the ones where the boulder is chasing you. There's ones where it's like a top view as well. That was very careless. Man, quality of play really goes down when I just sort of don't pay attention and I'm talking at you.
It's hard to be a streamer.
Nah, it's hard to be a streamer if you care. That's my real trick. I just sort of don't care.
Well, to, like, talk and play video games and concentrate is hard.
True, I guess.
That's my excuse, at least.
Yeah, fair. I mean, it's certainly harder than just sitting down and playing video games. I've certainly made more careless mistakes than I normally would.
Yes.
You know, I've done deathless runs on this game before, quite a few times actually. There's a whole bunch of levels where I'm like, that's odd. I wouldn't normally die to this, and I think it's just because I'm sort of. I mean, half the time I'm not actually even fully looking at the screen. That was just flat out stupid. Do I remember how to do this puzzle? Probably.
This is why I try to read chat to you.
Fair. I think that's right, and then we do this. There we go. But
I wonder how they determine the crates where it needs to give you the life straight away and the crates where it just drops the life on the ground.
It's got nothing to do with the crate, it's to do with how you actually interact with the crate. So, depending on your angle, your momentum, what you're doing, that'll dictate exactly what happens. So, like, any of those crates... if you jump on them, you get the life. If you spin them, you sometimes do, depending on how. Right. It's one of those things that you just sort of get a feel for after time. It's not some magic weird thing where some crates are special, it's just how you interact with them.
Yeah.
And here we go, we're now approaching the end of the level. So like, this entire level is just skipped, right? Where that last little platform lands there is where the green gem comes down. It's like, it is a substantial time save.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, there's just straight up like 30-something lives just chilling up the top there. For goodness knows what reason. So kind of the evil genius to A, give you shortcuts through his lab, and B, reward you for it. You know, it just... Yeah. That's a bit odd.
Well, how do you think he gets around?
I mean, he's on a jet board. I sort of feel like he wouldn't deal with any of the platforming at all. And again, like, OSHA hazards, man. Come on. No, this is Embryo, I think. So this is like the second last boss of the game. Last boss you have to complete. And one of my favourites. If you walk too close to him, he gets angry and explodes. And you just take away his life by jumping on these green slimy things.
Gotta love a good green slimy thing.
Yep.
That's a lot of health bar.
It is. Oh, man. What are we doing? That was far worse than it should have been.
Being bad at video games.
I know, right? That's alright. We're at the end bit now. And he'll Hulk out. And we just have to jump on his head a couple of times. And we're good. And bring her down. I mean, a poor performance, I've got to say. Like, taking damage on the slimes is just disgraceful.
Yeah.
You know, still done. Then the lab, I think this is the last actual level of the game. And, oh good, we've got another Aku tutorial. This one has some stuff, it's quite something. A lot of cycles, and apparently this is one of the levels that is very different between NTSC-U/PAL and NTSC-J, just in terms of cycles. Well, I got that wrong. Yeah, there's things where, like, you know, you've got to sort of hit the exclamation mark boxes in the right order, time when, you know, those electric things are.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of, like, abstract thinking.
Well, it's anticipation.
Yeah.
Top tip for you. You can spin that one because that's safe, but those boxes up ahead just there, don't spin them, there's a TNT there.
Right. See, that just feels like a bit of a dick move in terms of levels.
It absolutely is. This entire level is a dick move, right? I don't think the devs sort of...
Realised?
No, I think they've realised. I think it was actually intentional, right? If you consider the fact that they took Stormy Ascent out of the game, it means that they were clearly aware of the fact that, like, game is hard. Children, right?
Yeah. Focus.
Yeah. But, like, the lab made it in. So I think that sort of clearly indicates that, look, you know, they tested this game. They knew what the levels were like. So clearly they did actually intend for this level to be that hard, I guess. Maybe that's just optimistic thinking. But I'd assume at least, given that they went, wow, man, this level's too hard, we've got to take it out, that they tested things. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You can just jump around them if you're good. Apparently I'm not. But that's okay.
Being good.
Man, like...
Your
what a
name's
waste
not
of time.
Dan.
No, it's not, which is why I'm not good. Just do
We're
some
almost to
3D
the end of the
platforming
game.
there. We are, this is actually
This
the
is the
last
last
level.
platforming level?
No, this is the last... Well, sorry, technically the second last. I'll show you the Great Hall in a moment, and you'll see why that really doesn't count.
Yeah. It's also cheeky hiding the exclamation mark in the
Shoutouts
TV.
to the Howie scream there. That's, I don't remember half of these rooms, it's been so long.
Yeah.
I do remember how to do that, though. That should be the yellow gem, I think.
We'll see.
Yeah, there we go. It is. First try that. I'm pretty happy with that, you know. The lab's not an easy level. It's not super difficult or anything. But it's... Yeah, it's non-trivial. And I'm happy with the first try yellow gem on that.
It looks like the kind of level that has its gimmicks, right?
Oh, it does. But
Either it works for you or it doesn't.
yeah, and I mean the big thing is the exclamation mark boxes, and there's short bursts of time pressure. Oh, here we go. Here's the Great Hall. So I will take a moment to sort of show you how this works. The end of the level's just here, right? That is it. That is all. Great Hall is done. Last platforming level of the game complete, right? And it will not let you actually fight the final boss until you have jumped over that. However, I'm going to head back into it and show you what you're supposed to do. You may have noticed that there's like a gem that just sits there. And you go, oh well, what happens if I land on that? Well, dear viewer, you land on it and it takes you to like more gems, and you eventually just run out because I don't have all of them. Right, you can see here there's small ones that would be filled out if I had them, and you jump across them, you get Torno, you save the girl, everything is very bueno. But I don't have all the gems, so I can't do that. So that is like the true ending of the game, in inverted commas, the 100% ending. You just don't fight the final boss at all.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's a really interesting little thing. I don't know if they actually deliberately went, you know what, we want to make it so you can actually 100% the game without fighting Cortex, or whether they went, there's no way they will 100% it before fighting Cortex, or they just didn't care, or what. But there you go. So, final boss of the game. And that's like the only voice acting we have in the entire game.
Well, it was in Japanese, so it's faster.
It's true, it's true.
It's 8.0001 seconds, you know. Every little bit helps.
Oh. I don't know why I lost a life there. I could have sworn that was right.
Don't know.
That's alright. We got it, I think.
I like that the lab is on fire in the background.
Yeah, it's a nice touch. And there we go. That's Crash 1 done. So, yeah, there we go. That's the Japanese version of Crash 1. Thanks, Ben.
It's okay.
Nice.
I
appreciate the lamps. Yeah, well, one day I am gonna get like a lamp that is a copy of Sense Mother's lamp, and it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm carry
I
it
need
with me
to go
everywhere.
and eBay some lamps.
Oh yeah, totally.
I want one.
Yeah, it was great. So there we go. Yeah, it was that was Crash Bandicoot 1.
That is.
I've just noticed the
so
credits
easy.
are in English.
They are.
I don't know if that's like we forgot to do this in the localization process, or it was just too hard, or too expensive, or deliberate for some
Well,
other
to be
reason.
fair,
I don't
most
know.
of the names would be in English anyway.
Well, there's a good number of names that are actually straight up Japanese, right? This
Right.
section with the voice cast, voice director, Japanese translators, production coordinators, those are all Japanese names, right? Every single one of them can be written, and indeed written shorter, in the native hiragana or kanji, right? And all of these names on screen right now, these are all Japanese people.
Might have to do with whatever engine they were using for the credit.
I mean,
If it only supports standard ASCII.
I really doubt that, surely. Because I mean,
I don't know, it was a different time.
You could do some kludge thing with like a font, because like this is a font. It is a rasterized font, and it plonks the letters in the right spot, right? Rasterize a bunch of like hiragana and just say, here you go, like here's your new font, basically, you know.
Yeah.
And then just have gibberish ASCII letters that then appear as like the right character on screen. You know, that's for a group of developers that were, I mean, bluntly brilliant in some of the stuff that they pulled off in this, in terms of hardware hacks. Like there was.
How are there so many writers? This game has no story.
That is a superb question. I don't know the answer to that. But like some of the stuff they did, there was like the occasional like a Sony dev or exec or something would like surreptitiously slide a piece of paper over the table and said, "These are some things that you might find interesting. You never saw me," and just like flee from the building like behind a cape and mask and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that they were doing to get a whole bunch of things working on the PS1 was quite incredible, and so I think it's just a bit odd that that's an oversight. Or something that they couldn't work out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, because right there, that's hiragana.
Yeah.
No, that's katakana. I'll read. And so, like, if they've gone to the effort of putting in katakana, then there's no... and in fact, no, the Crash Bandicoot up the top is in katakana.
Yeah.
And the new game, load game, let me just skip, like, the one cutscene in this game. I think it actually did demos as well. Yeah, here you go. We get a demo of Papu Papu. We're not going to bother with that. But like the text on the menu is again
but if you've written a separate rendering engine for the credits, it's just reading from a file or whatever.
That's in katakana as well. Yeah, okay. I think
it is possible that someone. It's not that like they messed up the localization. That there was.
Oh no, that's
like
options.
A legitimate reason that just it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, okay. So this is interesting. Maybe it's the second one that is. So that's load game. How do I input a password? Was it? Because I know there's a way to enter passwords. Maybe they took it out in the Crash game. Surely not.
Is it because you have a memory card?
Maybe, I guess. I could, like, take it out and see if that does it.
Because that's what I do.
It's trying to find a memory card.
Do you have a memory card and turn it off? Because if you have a memory card, I don't want you warping halfway through the game.
Yeah, true, I guess. I don't know if that is, like, it trying to work out if there's a memory card or telling me to insert the memory card or what, but the flashing text makes it hard to read.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna Google it. Crash Bandicoot input password. At the first menu where it says new game, go down and it says password. I mean, I I don't see
Do any of those say password?
No, I can read. That says options, right?
Right.
That's load or something. So that's presumably load game, right?
Right.
I don't see password. That's really weird. That's really.
Oh well.
Maybe they took it out. I don't know, man. That's bizarre. Mysteries for another day. Anyway, I think I'm going to call that there. I should go and have
hour and a
food or something.
hour and most of another hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, basically 2 hours. So there we go.
50 chats with Dan.
Yeah, that took a little longer than I expected, but
Average
yeah,
3 viewers.
Nice. I'll jump on at some point and play something else. I don't know what.
Cool.
Probably just more old games that I'm not terrible at, and we'll
Yeah.
see how we go. So cool. Thank you all for joining me. I'll see you around.
Bye.